Lecture 11, The Third Formula of Leadership. What do you think? Part 1. This is the 11th lecture on leadership. The theme of this lecture is the third tenet of cultivating leadership. What are your thoughts? This question is an important one for leaders to ask. If I were to ask you, what questions should leaders ask their subordinates? How would you respond? You might say that different situations call for different questions. While that is true, there are some questions that leaders should always ask their subordinates, regardless of industry, function, or hierarchy. These questions are important leadership questions. Throughout this course, I will be discussing 10 leadership tenets, 5 of which are questions. Today, I will discuss the first one. What are your thoughts? These 4 simple words are incredibly important, and may even be the most important leadership question. 1. The most important ability of a leader is to ask questions. To understand why the question, what are your thoughts, is important, I need to start with another question. What is the most important ability a leader should possess? A leader needs to have many abilities, but if you had to choose the most important one, what would it be? There are many possible answers to this question. You could say it's communication, or the ability to manage people, or decision-making, strategic thinking, learning ability, or adaptability. As long as you can make a convincing argument, any of these answers could be correct. I would like to propose an answer for your consideration. The most important ability a leader should possess is the ability to ask questions. With so many possible answers, why do I say it's asking questions? Because leadership is about mobilizing people to solve problems. Asking questions is a crucial ability. I can explain this from 2 perspectives. First, to solve problems, you need to ask questions. Second, to mobilize people, you need to ask even more questions. 2. To solve problems, you need to ask questions. Let me start with the first point. To solve problems, you need to ask questions. More specifically, you need to ask the right questions. Management guru Drucker once said, "The most common source of mistakes in management decisions is the emphasis on finding the right answer rather than the right question." Why did Drucker say this? Because if you ask the wrong question, the answer cannot be right. For example, if you are a CEO of a company and you find that a product is not selling well, what would you do? I don't know what you would do, but I can tell you what you should do. You should first find the right question. For a product that is not selling well, you can ask, how can we change the incentive policy for salespeople? How can we better train our salespeople? How can we reintroduce our product to customers? How can we redesign our product to better meet customer needs? You have many questions to ask. What you need to do first is not to find the answers to these questions, but to find out which one is the right question. As I mentioned earlier, asking questions to solve problems is not the most important thing. The most important thing is the second point. To mobilize people, you need to ask questions. Leadership is about mobilizing people to solve problems and take action to change the status quo. Only by establishing a good relationship with the people can you truly mobilize them. How do you establish a good relationship with the people? In Lecture 9, I talked about one method, which is to start with a transactional relationship to establish a transformational relationship. Is there a way to directly establish a transformational relationship? Yes, it is by asking questions. Of course, not all questions are about mobilizing people. For example, some superiors may ask their subordinates, "Why are you so stupid?" This is not about mobilizing people, but about attacking them.